Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I'm going to do a video discussing with you guys tips for getting a bigger bench when you're a longer arm bencher. And again, I can probably do a lot of different tips on this topic. This is something near and dear to my heart because you guys can see, looking at this rep work, look at the range of motion I have to do. This is 315 for 8 reps, by the way. Doing this at 46 years old. This is the first day I hit this, so who knows where I'll be by the time this video comes out. But here I am doing my first time hitting 8 reps finally with this weight, getting a good pause at the end. And then you'll see the supplemental work that I do here. And for me, upper back work and tricep work are very, very critical to making this happen. Now, I want to be very clear that muscle mass in general is your friend when building a big bench. You can always eat your way to a bigger bench, but the thing to remember when you have longer arms, you're never going to have the leverage advantage that some guys have. You're not going to have that. You're not going to be able to do a big arch, a wide grip, and cut that range of motion really short. So you're always going to have to move the weight a really long distance. And we can do a lot of pause benching to help get the speed off the chest. You can build lats, all that stuff, and it will help you get that speed off the chest. But at the end of the day, what I find, particularly even on your rep work, which you guys see there, but even your maxes, you simply run out of steam accelerating that weight. We do. So the things that you have to remember are the ability to touch it in the right place, which is a lot of upper back, and then a lot of tricep development. And so here I'm doing skull crushers. And then I did a lot of band work that day also. But with skull crushers, there's something special about this exercise, or anything that really works the tricep through a long range of motion and puts you into the lengthened position. Okay, and here's what that is. It helps you get faster out of the bottom. It also means, because you can use that long head from the lengthened position, which will help more on your maxes. Because you do that, your triceps have more overall strength left through the rest of the tricep. So by doing this, we get faster out of the bottom, because again, if we can get speed going, it's a little easier to maintain the acceleration all the way through. Kind of a big deal. All right, what's the other deal with the triceps? Because no matter how fast we get the weight moving, we're still fighting against deceleration with a longer range of motion. And keep in mind, you will have a long range of motion. There's no way around it. Because you can't, again, when you start trying to grip the bar really, really wide, when you have even the long arms to get around this, what ends up happening, it puts so much shear stress on your shoulders that if you can't get a big arch, it just destroys your shoulders. You can't handle it. And even any efforts to do so put more stress on your shoulders. Okay? So as we develop our triceps, it does a couple things for us. Obviously, we get the help from the long head out of the bottom, but number two, it gives us the ability to continue that acceleration through when the triceps start to take over more and more as we get closer to lockout. Triceps become more important. Pecs get de-emphasized a little bit. And I want to be very clear. Pecs are still involved in the lockout, and triceps are still involved at the bottom. Now, the heads of the tricep matter a little differently at the bottom, but they're still involved. However, that acceleration is kind of a big deal. The ability to continue to accelerate with those triceps, because we have to, because of the longer range of motion. It's unavoidable. All right, the other thing to think about, and this is also where the upper back is going to come into play. The other thing to think about, bar path. If your triceps are not strong enough, what happens? The bar drifts more towards the face. You can't keep it as low down on the bar path. All right, that puts more stress on your shoulder joints. If you're a long arm bencher, you see where we're going with this? We're put into a double compromise situation there. So having triceps that can handle the lockout very effectively will reduce total shear on your shoulder joints, right? Because you won't try to use your delts to take over, which also puts the joint into not the best position. Now, we're always going to have some drift. In fact, you're going to see some drift almost immediately off the chest with a perfect bench. Especially if you're really strong, it's going to happen. But we don't want it getting too far over above the face. The bigger triceps will help you with that. And that's also where the upper back work comes in handy because it allows you to touch lower on the chest. It gives you more eccentric control, a thicker, stronger upper back. Again, all these rows will help you control that. It'll let you touch lower on the chest. All right, that is again a little easier on the shoulder joints because again, even though you'll have some travel towards the face, the whole positioning will be brought slightly further down. We can tuck the elbows more at the bottom. And if we can tuck the elbows more at the bottom, we come back to that other thing, triceps. We can utilize our triceps more effectively. Again, all this tricep work starts to pay off. And I want to be very clear here. It's still a pec exercise. So all of this effort to do these things with the triceps does not mean the pecs are not being used. But here's the thing to consider. With a longer arm bencher, the triceps will oftentimes become slightly more important. But if we do all of our benching paused, we learn to hit the right touch points because we build a strong upper back, our chest will get the development we want. We'll get the speed out of the bottom that we want. Okay? Because at the end of the day, if we can get enough speed going out of the bottom, it will become a matter of can we lock it. It's just that with longer arms, we have to maintain that rate of force production longer. And because we have to maintain it longer, the triceps start to matter more. There's a lot of reasons why it makes a lot of sense to do all this tricep work and upper back work. And again, I want to be clear, you still need big pecs. You still need big pectorals, just that you may not need to focus on them quite as much. Whereas then I can take a lot of my shorter arm lifters, and if we just build big pecs, right? Because their triceps always look big if they train triceps because their arms are shorter. If we can just build big pecs, a lot of times they're good. They can get a nice short range of motion. They can use the pecs to really get the weight moving. They don't have to accelerate it as long. We have the longer arms, it's a slightly different ball game. The programming for all the supplemental work has to be different. Again, focus on a lot of pause work, a lot of upper back work, a lot of tricep work, and you're going to do pretty decent. Is that always going to be optimal for your specific situation and your individual weak points? Maybe not, and this stuff, you may need to change it up at different times, but you're still going to benefit from doing this for extended periods of time, at least at a couple of phases through your training somewhere. It would behoove you, it would be a very wise idea. And it's something I've learned along the way because we have to pick and choose. We can't just do limitless amounts of training. We will overtrain. So we have to pick what we do intelligently, and this can be a very intelligent application of it. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.